Why is my pregnancy considered high risk? And why did my son seem concerned when we announced that we were having our baby, our third? Let's talk about it. My high-risk pregnancy reasons can be broken down into three. The first one being the easiest is that I'm 38 years old. It's a little bit older biologically to have children. So a lot of women who are over the age of 35 will be considered high risk. They'll see a maternal fetal medicine doctor. Some people call it a geriatric pregnancy, or I am at advanced maternal age. So reason number one is just that I'm a lot older than I was in my 20s having a baby, and that comes with additional risk. The second reason is that I had pretty bad preeclampsia with my first son. I was on bed rest for a while because of it. They ended up taking the baby early, and it was pretty scary. And now that I'm older, I'm at higher risk for preeclampsia anyway, so it's stacked on top of that I've already had it. It just makes the risk a lot higher. So we are watching that very carefully. I monitor my blood pressure every single day. I take a baby aspirin to help, so we're watching it, but that, again, puts me at a higher risk for this pregnancy. The third reason, and this one is probably the biggest reason and the most important, and the one my son was concerned about, is that I have a lot of scar tissue. And it was pretty concerning during my second baby's C-section, trying to work through it. So number one, I have quite a bit of scar tissue from both of my C-sections, which can be tricky when we're worried about where the placenta is going to attach. If the placenta attaches to the scar tissue, it can do one of two things: either not attach appropriately and then come apart too early, and then we have issues with the placental abruption or bleeding out. It's not great. Or during delivery, that placenta will attach too deeply to that scar tissue and not remove when it's supposed to, which again is a really scary, dangerous thing. Now, the great news is that my placenta is attached to the back of my uterus and not the front where that C-section scar is. So we're out of the woods on that, thank heaven, so that does lower my risk. But it was a concern, especially when we were letting our kids know, before we knew that this was all going on. But in addition to that scar tissue issue, I also have what are called adhesions, which are bands of scar tissue throughout my abdomen that attach my organs and different things together. And my doctor let me know during my second C-section that she had a difficult time getting through those adhesions to get down to the uterus. She even had my anesthesiologist watching my urine output to make sure there wasn't any blood, because it was hard to tell what she was cutting because of the amount of scar tissue. So knowing that, after the second C-section, there will be more scar tissue and more adhesions. And my doctor actually advised us that probably wouldn't be smart to have another child, which is why we were very much done. So unfortunately, a story for another day. We found ourselves pregnant with third, so my doctor is very much aware of all of the issues with the scar tissue and the preeclampsia and the age and all the things, and I am very well taken care of, and things are going very smoothly. So we're really happy about that, but those were the three reasons why my pregnancy was considered high risk and why my son was a little bit worried about his mama. The reason that my son knew all of these things is because for years and years and years, he had begged for another sibling. And we had to explain to him why we couldn't have one. Not that we didn't want him to have another sibling, but that it wasn't safe. And as he got older, we got into a little bit more detail about why it wasn't safe to have another sibling, so we got a dog instead. So that is why he was aware and concerned. So anyway, that's the story. Thanks.